Welcome, everybody. This episode is brought to you in partnership with Hilltop Promotions. One table, two players, one winner. First off, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, for subscribing. This podcast has grown, and we couldn't do it without you guys, and I'm absolutely grateful. This man that we have on the screen, in my opinion, I think in most everybody's opinion, is at the top of the conversation for best player to ever live. And when I say best player, probably all games, but really known for 9-ball. He didn't just make history. He's the epitome of history. 3-time WPA World 9-ball champion, 5-time U.S. Open champion. He's won over 100 other major tournaments, and he is the great. He is the Pearl. It's Earl, the Pearl Strickland. Earl, thank you, man. It's been tough getting you here, and we are grateful to have you, dude.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your interest in me.
Absolutely.
But, those are some nice compliments. I don't know if I'm the best player ever lived, though.
You're in the conversation. There's no question.
Absolutely, Earl. And I want to say, obviously, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's always good to see you, whether it's at the expo or at Yale Billiards. But we have to have that conversation, Earl. You are the man when you come to Yale Billiards. Every time I see you, you draw the biggest crowds. How do you feel about that? What do you feel when people do call you the best player in the world ever?
Well, my game's dropping now, and then you lose your confidence, and you don't feel like you're the greatest anymore, But, I had my moments. There's no doubt that there were times, for several months or years or whatever, I was the best. There's no doubt. But there's a whole new era coming in now, and there's a whole new generation of players. And it's like Bobby Jones said once about Jack Nicklaus. He said Jack Nicklaus is playing a game that he's not familiar with. And the way these guys are playing now, it's kind of like I'm not familiar with it either, It's hard to adapt to what the way they're playing right now with the break the way it is, the jump sticks, and the magic rack, and it's a whole new era.
I get it, right? Because I'm kind of right there with you as far as understanding where you are with the break cue and the jump cue and the break shot. I think if you take that away, though, and I'll debate this with anybody. I will debate it with anybody because I've witnessed you. I've witnessed the elite player now. And there's no question, Earl. There's just no question. Listen, there was world-class players everywhere back in your era. They were everywhere. When you won those world championships, you're playing Japanese, Korean, Taiwanese, Filipinos, you're playing all of them. If you take away the new break shot today and the jump cue, I don't see these guys beating you consistently. I don't know that they beat you. I still think you're at the top of the list. And I truly, truly mean that, man. I mean, you were a demon. Now, age is a thing, right? You know that. You're a pure athlete and you're a genius, which a lot of people I don't think give you enough credit for. You and I have talked for hours. You're a genius, but age is a real thing, man, right? And you know that, and you've lasted. Your longevity has been much stronger and much higher than any other player I've really seen.
Well, I know what age it ends at. It's 64. Because I played good. I've played good my whole life until 64.
Well, you just played good in the Philippines. You just played good in the You just played good in the Philippines.
I did play good, didn't I? I was surprised at how well I played, but I try to analyze everything every day. Even if I play golf, I try to analyze it to, compare it with pool, and your nerves. It all comes down to your nerves, and as you get older, your nerves are no good anymore. And that's a fact. I don't care how good a shape you're in or how well you took care of yourself or how much you practice. You can't replace nerves. And it's part of, it's the nature of the game. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm talking about, Scott. You're a professional. You're probably still a professional player if you want to be, but you played a lot of pro pool and you know how important the nerves are in the game. And I think pool, my honest opinion, comparing it to all the other sports in the world, I think that's what makes pool so difficult is the nerve part of it. The inside of your, it's like there's a hole inside of you when you dog it. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing compares with it. And I still think that pool is more demanding in other sports. Like you always get these little funny shots, real hard shots too. You get them all the
Intricate,
time.
intricate,
And
tedious.
Yeah.
they're the most nervous shots you ever have when you're against the rail or something, and you got to bend down real low to sight the ball, and people don't have no idea how hard this game is. It's a very precarious game. It's not a big game like baseball, hitting a 500-foot home run, or driving a ball like golf 340, 50 yards. It's a very precarious game. It's very minute. You know what I mean? And that's what
Yes.
makes it difficult.
All right, Earl, let's talk a little bit about your shape because I mean, you Scott touched on a little while ago. You play great still, and you've been playing good. You do it. You're very you exercise a lot, right?
I was, I just mentioned a while ago, my foot's been hurt, and I've gained some weight. I've gained about 20 or 20 something pounds. And
Since when? Since when? Since Philippines?
I've gained a lot more since you saw me in Philippines.
Not 20 pounds.
Not 20 pounds. I was already
I didn't
heavy
think so
there.
either.
I was already heavy when I was in heavier when I was in the Philippines in Manila. But
I saw you. I thought you looked good at the expo, Earl. I didn't notice 20 pounds.
It is critical to. I think that one thing with me is I never have been real heavy most of my life. I got tubby a couple of times drinking beer years ago when I was about 28 or 30, drinking a lot of beer, closing the bars every night. But
we're going to talk about that too.
Then I thinned back down, and I never really got too big, But I've noticed one thing about me and pool, and I don't really think this goes for everybody, but it does for me. If I get heavier than I was when I was playing well, I'm not going to play well. Just not going to do it. My posture at the table is very important to me, that I'm not holding my torso. But, you got to hold your torso up to shoot. And if there's an extra 10, 15 pounds down there, then I'm gonna shoot quicker. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to stay down as long as I normally would. There's little things, about pool. I know it don't add up sometimes, like, running the decathlon or winning a 5-hour match in tennis, don't add up to as strenuous as other sports. But I still say pool's got its own little ways of being more difficult than anything you'll ever play.
I want to touch on something, Earl. Right when I introduced you, you said something, and this is not to promote anything I'm doing, but you mentioned the word confidence. Now, I know you can take yourself back to your prime. Do you know what affirmations are, or manifesting and telling yourself you're the best? I know you did this over and over when you stood on the table, when you won the World 9-Ball Championship. The difference now, and I think age has a role in this, right? Because I struggled with it towards the end of my career. The difference now is we feel like, and I'm speaking for you here because this is what I sense from you, is we feel like we're only as good now as our last tournament. When you were in your prime, you could lose a tournament and you couldn't wait to get to the next tournament because you knew that you were a favorite to win that tournament. And this is true, right? So I guess what I'm saying there is I'm working on something called unshakable performance. It's been unshakable performance. It's been an 11-year project, and it's all about positive affirmation, reinforcement, your routine and your work ethic and things like that. The minute you got on the show, your energy, which is understandable. I'm not picking, me, but what I recognize is your energy or confidence is here versus here last time we talked and last time we did a show. All I'm getting at there is can you ever pull yourself back to when you were in your prime? And do you think that we have the mental strength to pull ourselves back to our prime and just let that last tournament go and be hungry to win the next? Do you think that's still possible mentally?
I think it's over. That's I've analyzed and uh, analyzed it over and over and over. Pull, what I'm doing with my body,
Uh-huh.
how I'm training, and you can train all you want and pull, and you can be a decathlon athlete. I don't care, and a pool player all in one, and go in there and just dog your brains out. You know what I mean? Because pool, if there's something funny about the table, it really messes with me. I mean, it really affects me more now than it did when I was younger.
It did in my later career as well.
If the table's a little wet, like it was the other night when I played Ocean there in
Uh-huh.
Expo, the table was wet and I couldn't play my game, and I knew it. But I give him a lot of credit. He played it. He played very well for the
Uh-huh.
conditions of the table. I couldn't believe how good he played for the conditions of that table. You understand?
Well, I
And
commentated the final table, and I couldn't believe how wet those tables played.
but I used to play good under tough conditions like that too when I was younger. I could handle it. But you know as well as I do, Scott, when that table, if it's not totally conducive as we get older,
Yes,
we're in a disadvantage, the older players. There's no doubt about it.
Hey,
big
hey,
time.
Earl, can you explain what that means to be a wet table? Because there might be people out there that are just watching the podcast or are new to the sport. And they want to know, like, what do you mean? What is a wet table? Can you let us
I'll tell
know?
you how it's got to happen. With the tables they provide in the expo in Valley Forge is the cloth is old already. Okay, so the cloth's aged. All right, so that's going to add to the wetness. The building we're playing in there doesn't have proper insulation in it in the top of the building, so the humidity and whatever is outside is feeding right in on the table. Okay, then you got a double whammy. You got the audience. Okay, so you got poor conditions of a building, and then you got the audience too, and that spells disaster
And
with
you're
old
talking
felt,
about, yeah, you're talking about the humidity
and they're
from the
not
from the
cleaning.
breathing.
They're not cleaning the tables after every round like they should be. So they're not sweeping the tables. They're not maintaining the equipment uh, accordingly, and all these elements that I'm speaking of cause the table to play very, very difficult and unconducive. But you
Oh,
can still play good on it. Don't get me wrong. If you don't miss a ball and don't play bad. But I still say the table could chew you up and spit you out at any moment under the conditions it was under.
Yeah, and that's where
oh,
you always go back to the heated slate, right? You felt for years, which I couldn't agree more, that all the tables should have heated slates.
The diamond tables, I'll say something about diamond. They're a good table as long as they stay dry. You know what I mean? If they get wet, they're the most difficult table I've ever played on. So once that table gets wet, that's why in that tournament I played a couple of good matches, but then my game started suffering because the table never became more conducive. It stayed in its element. Last year when we played there, it rained on Friday. It was like a monsoon came and the tables got unplayable. I would have stopped the tournament if I was running. But anyway, um, but this year it was cold. Actually, it didn't get hot at all. Uh, it was kind of cool, but I still
right.
say that building plays a major
Yes,
role in the audience too. You know what I mean, Scott.
it's exactly
Yeah.
what I said when I was commentating for the two
Like when
days.
I'm
It's
practicing, when I start getting ready to play a match, I start practicing. There's nobody there, right? The table's
sure,
bone dry. I'm going,
yeah,
oh, the table's playing nice. By the time the match starts, the place is full of people. Now the tables it changes that quick too. It'll change into a different table and where the
Right.
ball won't draw as much. The spin goes off the ball. You can't make balls on the break. I already can't make them on the break. I need them to fall in, you know. But anyway, it's still, you know, I still give Ocean a lot of credit for the way he played. He made some really quality shots under those conditions.
That's possibly what you're going back to, right? Though he's a little bit, he's a generation after you, and I don't know. It's just different because the older I got, and I'm guilty of it. People, unfortunately, I was later. I wasn't in the social media when I was in my prime. So a lot of people saw me complaining about the equipment. I'm similar in that situation, and I was thinking about it the other day when I'm working on this course. You know, a lot of times I would just let the equipment get to me so quickly when I was struggling towards the end of my career, and I wish I could somehow reverse that.
The equipment, you know, I mentioned before on a podcast with Emily Frazier, you know, the tables, you know, there's some good pool tables. I'm not going to say they're the worst tables ever, but there are some decent tables out there.
Earl, speaking of tables, like Brunswick, shout out to Brunswick, one of our sponsors. I know you like the Brunswick. How do you feel about the Brunswick tables?
Well, I won most of my titles on Brunswick's, and I accomplished all my my high run 480 balls in straight pool on a Brunswick. That's another thing right there. You'll never see nobody run 500, 800 balls on a diamond or a Rascal or a Predator or any other table. That's a fact right there. That proves that Brunswick is the most consistent table, that you can run 800 balls on it. You can't do it on any other table. And I ran 480 on a Brunswick. I don't think I could run 480 on another table. That's my honest opinion. But going back to the tables, when I was with Emily Frazier doing a podcast, I told her, and I meant it, that the pool tables need a lot of research. You know that as well as I do. Pool tables are far from being where they should. You understand? We need one day just push a button and that thing just plays perfect, you know. But I really think that there are a lot of things you got to do to make the table right. If you're going to heat it, I think the table needs very hard cushions. I don't know if you know what I mean by that. The cushions don't need to be softer because the heat's going to make the cushion even softer. See what I'm saying? So you need very hard cushions. You need to get the pockets right to where they jaw the ball and it's not phony. Those kind of things. Get the top rails level where they're six, not seesawing across. You know what I'm talking about, Scott.
Yeah.
You do too, Bobby. You on a pool. But anyway, there's little things, you know, that mean a great deal in pool. People don't like the little rim that goes around the Brunswick, the Gold Crown. That little rim, you know what I'm talking about. Now I placed my finger. I learned on the Brunswick. I started out in 18th century Brunswick, but then when I moved to the Gold Crowns, there was no other table. The same with you, Scott.
Yeah,
you remember back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I fit my index finger right on that rim. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I shot so good on the Brunswick, because I had extra leverage. You understand?
Sure.
That little rim going around the edge of the table is genius. Everyone who decided to put that on there was a genius.
Well, do you think it was by design? Do you think it was for that?
I think Moscone had something to do with it.
Okay.
I don't think the industry could be that smart. But anyway, there's just so many little things, and I know you know, Scott. You know what I'm talking about. There's just little things about a pool table that mean so much, you know, to help the player play a little better, to keep him consistent, to keep our game, you know, where people want to watch because it's a high level of play. You know what I mean? These guys are playing good. They made the pockets 4 inches big, and they're still running. They're running out.
No question.
I will say the TV table, when they're playing, the pockets will let the ball in a little easier. You've noticed that. They slide in a little bit when you hit them soft. But when they're 4 inches, it don't matter, does it?
No, you still got to hit it. Yeah.
That's a really small pocket. I'm impressed with how well some of these players are running out on a 4-inch pocket table. I never thought it would be this small.
I'm thinking about what you said real quick though. You just push a button and the table plays perfect. I
Yeah,
think one of the but why couldn't it be that way? I mean, I'm thinking about it, and I think one of the biggest problems for pool rooms, because not all pool rooms can fund this, but with this, there's lithium now. Lithium, I mean, you've got a Tesla that can drive for 2 days, right? What about lithium power? Instead of, where I'm going with that is pool rooms, because I looked into it with my room. The issue is that if I were to heat the tables, harden the rails, which I fully agree with and totally understand, well, I've got to have outlets underneath every table. That means that you've got to run power either in the foundation or underneath the carpet, and then you've still got to put outlets down there. So maybe nowadays, I'm just saying, with Brunswick and their new
Well, let's
gold
say
crown is out of this world, but
you
we're a long
can't
ways from there.
you can't please everybody. You can only please the best players. And that's the way it is.
Right.
Forget about the pool rooms having heated tables. That's not for them. In England, if you go into a pub and play snooker, none of them are heated. The only ones that are heated is where they're playing the tournaments.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
I'm just thinking of cost-effective ways to do it, right? Because there
But
are
I'm just
pool rooms
saying
that would like to do it.
We need to make the table. There's
For
another
the
thing
pros.
too. The reason why I say you got to make the rails harder, when the ball is close to the pocket, you want to follow back down to the other end of the table. When the table's heated, the ball won't bounce down to the other end, especially on a diamond table. When they get real dry diamonds, you can't follow the ball up and down the table. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like that shot that Skylar Tyler, what was his name?
Tyler Steyer?
Yeah, Tyler Steyer had in the Moscone Cup when he had the 8-9 on the table, and he didn't get over. He didn't get on that ball. That was amazing. How hard he hit it, and it didn't go over there. And he couldn't follow it. It was an easy follow shot on a boingy table. Listen, on the boingy at Bobby's place, he could have followed it right up. No, I just thought about it.
All right, Earl. Thanks a lot, brother.
Anyway, I'm saying on a wetter table, he could have just followed it over there. You know what I mean? He tried to two-rail it because he knew he couldn't follow it over, and it still wouldn't go over there two-railing. That was crazy. But that shows you some of the things I'm talking about, that particular shot. You got to be able to move that ball forward. You know what I mean?
Get to where it needs to go. Yeah, we can get where it needs to go. And
you understand that top spin's got to equal bottom almost. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And a lot of times on these matchroom events, you can't follow the ball. It's like 20% follow and 80% draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the cue ball wants to arc right off the rail.
You got to draw out of stuff. You got to try to get lucky sometimes or something. But if you look at snooker, they're heating the table and they can follow the ball 12 feet. Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because their rails are brick hard, Scott. You understand? Yeah. They're hard as rocks, the rails, and they're flat, obviously. I think that has something to do with it. I often wondered if we shouldn't play on flat rails in pool. It should be tried. But anyway, like I'm saying, you got to get it where you can follow the ball. The table's dry, right?
Right.
And it's heated, and you can follow as far as you can draw almost. See what I'm saying?
You should be able to do both. Yeah, the same distance. Exactly. They're playing right. Exactly the same distance.
But but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's never that way. It's never been that way ever. Only a few times in my life, maybe. Because normally, if the table's boingy, you can't draw. You know what I mean? If the table's wet and boingy, you can't draw as much as you can follow. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, older cloth you can follow a lot better.
So, newer cloth. Listen, I think there should be two different cloths on the table. Like Sullivan in 1989. You remember when Nick won all those tournaments? Remember 1989?
Yeah, of course. Okay?
Nick won 9 times that year. The reason why he won, he doesn't even know why he won, but I do. I'm so observant But anyway, the tables played absolutely perfect that year. And he was using, I'll tell you what he was doing, Greg Sullivan. He was putting a 19-ounce Stevens on the rail and a 760 Simonas on the bed. And that made
Swapping
that
it up.
table play so perfect. And he had the different rails then, Scott and Bobby, you know what I mean? He had the different rails, what are they called? The super speed or something?
The super speeds.
He had the super speed rails, which were real live, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Now, what happened here? Why did the table play so good? It went from jumping and boinging and playing like it needed flippers on it, you know what I mean? To playing perfect. What happened was, the rail was right. Now, he put the 19-ounce Stevens on the rail. It slowed it down. You understand?
The 760 is a quicker clock.
Yeah, but he slowed the rail down and sped the bed up. It's a perfect combination for pool. People don't realize they don't know what the combinations make the game the best. This is one of them. He had the table so perfect it was a joke. Because Nick likes hitting the ball. You understand? Nick likes slugging the balls. He didn't like rolling them. He wasn't.
He punched. He punched.
Yeah, he wasn't a fancy player. He pounded everything a little bit.
Yeah. Make the ball move.
Once they slowed the rail down and got it the speed of the bed right, where you could play good pool on it, he loved it. He could pound the ball. The ball wouldn't get away from him because it was a 19-ounce Stevens on the rail. If he would have put a 760 on the rail, Nick would have never won 9 times. Never.
Wow.
Interesting, ain't it?
It is
real
interesting. Makes sense.
All right.
But those tables played unbelievable with that setup.
All right, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit. You talked a little bit about your drinking age. Can you talk a little about when you stopped drinking, when you playing early on, you were drinking and partying a lot, right?
They all drank, years ago. All the players.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're more disciplined now than they were back then. But and there's still some drinkers in pool, and there's drinkers in golf and everything else too. But I never was any good at it, and I'm glad I quit. But I quit, 1998.
1998. Almost 20.
Been a while since I've indulged in alcohol too much.
20-something years.
It's one of the reasons I'm still here. If I would have kept closing the bar, I think I wouldn't be here.
Same here.
But when you were drinking, were you able to play good pool? Did you play money sets while you were drinking?
I was a terrible drunk, and I was a terrible terrible player when I drank. I used to try to drink and gamble. That's the worst thing. I can't think of anything worse for a pool player to do. The only guy that was good at that, there was 2 guys good at that. Maybe 3. I don't know.
I might name one.
I keep thinking about it.
I can name one.
Keith,
Ronnie Allen
Louis.
was one of them.
Keith,
Ronnie Allen.
Keith, Louis, Ronnie.
Yeah, you got it. Keith was number 2. And you missed one. I still
Larry
think
Liscotti.
Who?
Larry Liscotti. Larry Liscotti.
I think he was the best. He was a champion at drinking and playing pool. He was the best, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I experienced it with him one time. I ran into him in Myrtle Beach one time. I was on the road. I was about 18, maybe 19. I'd never even played in a tournament yet. And we were in this all-night club, me and this guy. And they had a 4-bay, had a bar table. Didn't have any big tables. And I ran into Liscotti. I said, "You want to play some 9-ball?" He said, "No, I know who you were." I said, "How you know me?" He says, "You're a little Earl out of Houston." But he didn't even know us from North Carolina.
What year is this, Earl? What year is this?
1979.
Okay.
So right after he won the world championship, right? He just won the world championship.
Yeah. He looks at me and says, "I'll tell you what, kid, we'll play some 1 pocket on the bar table." I says, 1 pocket on the bar? That's the stupidest game I ever heard of.
It is.
We started playing 500 a game, but he made one stipulation. I had to drink a swallow of whiskey every time he did. And I didn't like that. I broke even with him and I quit. I said, "That's it." Then we went and we played all night. And I was a little bit drunk, but And then I'm walking out the door. He says, "Where are you going?" I says, "I'm going to play golf." He says, "Really?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "I play golf. I want to go with you." We was right to the golf course.
Really?
After drinking and playing pool?
Yeah, that was Lascotti, right? We played pool all
Yeah.
night long. Went to the golf course. And we're going down this hill, and someone's driving a cart for him. And he says, "My ball's over there." And they turned this a big hill, too. He's going straight down.
Oh, no.
The guy whipped the cart and dumped him out of the cart. And he went head over hills he must have flipped 10 times down the hill. Head over hills like a barrel, right? And he wasn't moving when he stopped.
Oh, Jesus.
So they had to nurse him back into the cart, and that was it. That was the end of the golf game. That was the last I seen of him until the next time I saw him.
Yeah, he might have been laid up in the hospital for.
He was a fun guy, Larry. I loved him to death.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun, and a lot of those drinking stories, partying stories, crazy times. Now, you're 18 years old. You got the world champion Larry just coming out. They know you. Talk a little bit about when you were younger, when you were playing. I heard there was a story you played Seagull one time. You were like an 18-year-old kid in a barn or something.
I'm the one that did that interview with Billy and Cardona, and there's some discrepancy from both sides with Earl and Mike. So I really don't know how that came out.
Yeah, you really don't want to know the truth about all of this.
Tell it, baby.
Part of it, we were playing in a barn. There were chickens and pigs and cows and right near us. I think
did you play this place before? Did you play in this place before?
Around while we were shooting, huh?
Did you play in this place before, or was it the first time you played in this?
No, this guy
he
had
spent a lot of time there
in his barn, but he had it set up nice, and you could still see the chicken, outside the door. There wasn't a door to it; it was just in an area, but he had it fixed up where you could play pool.
He was a pot dealer, right, or a grower?
He. A little bit of everything, probably, but those were the days. Those were the kind of matches that's all we had,
Yeah, you guys played for what, three days, right? Or the rumor goes you played 2 or 3 days.
14 hours.
But you didn't know? Is Billy correct when he told me this? He told me all the details, and it was cool. I mean, I don't really care who won.
Billy's memory ain't all there.
No kidding. I get that. But what I was more interested in was like the surrounding and the setting, because I spent a lot of time like in things like that. But was it true? Did you know? Did they know who you? They didn't know who you were when they showed up. They just heard you were a good straight shooting kid.
No one hardly knew me. No. I was basically unknown.
God, what would
I'd never played tournaments.
Yeah, what would you do with that footage? I'd pay anything to have footage.
We played 14 hours. He had me freaking way loser, bad.
You're playing like way ahead, right? Or you're playing?
Yeah,
we're
sets? Playing 6 ahead for some big dough, and I'm way loser. 2 sets. So he wins the second set. He starts unscrewing his cue. And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "That's it. You lost 2 sets. We're going to quit." I says, No. I'm not quitting. I still got money. I says, when you get all the money, then you can quit. I says, "How much you got there?" I says, "Oh, I got another $60,000 or $70,000 in this bag." There was a lot of money in that bag too. So he says, "Okay." So I guess he just assumed he was just going to keep robbing me the way, but still 14 hours. And I was only 12 games loser. Ain't bad against a guy like him.
Yeah, he was the best player at the time, right? He was.
What I mean?
Were you playing by the game, Earl? Were you playing by the game?
We were playing 6 ahead.
6 ahead. So he beat you quickly. Okay. Early.
So we flipped the coin. I ran the set on him, and he quit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
Wow.
He might have got one shot, a kick or a push or something. I don't know. He didn't get much. And he saw right there that his chances were ending. And so he quit. But I'm not going
Was
to tell
that
you the rest of the story. It's too graphic.
No, tell us the story. That's what we're here
No,
for.
you don't.
Earl,
let's
tell the
hear
story.
it.
We don't care. I tell graphic stories that are true. If it's true, tell the story. That's what we're here for, baby.
Some things in my
Yeah.
life were a little bit graphic.
But go for it. That's what we're
okay.
here
I'm
for.
surprised I'm still alive.
Tell the story.
Yeah.
Tell the rest of it.
After he quit,
Yeah.
these guys are dangerous people. They're all
Sure.
strong.
Right, 'cause a lot of money, right? There's people involved in all the unethical stuff.
And everybody's got a strong arm guy, and everybody's got a gun. You know what I mean? It ain't no picnic. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's serious, underworld pool.
Yep.
Anyway,
Right.
so he gets ready to leave, and the strong arm guy with me, right? He looks at me, he says, "That guy ain't getting away with that money." I says, "What is it?" He says, "I'm going to take the money back." He says, I looked at him, I says, no, don't. He says, "Why?" He says, "Why wouldn't you want me to take it back?" "No, I don't. Leave him alone. I want to save him for later." Yeah, I want to save him, and what I got out of him, I got a U.S. Open and a World Tournament.
I totally get your point, though, right? It's not worth it.
What I meant by I wanted to save him.
Absolutely.
We know we got that. Yeah,
Well,
we knew you were going to get them.
Because in the gambling world, though, deep down, if a guy quits you winner, they're in a bad position, because a guy like him is going to be so hungry. He's going to have him in his sights for the.
That's a bad place to quit winner and amongst a group of people like that.
No question.
But
I mean, it was unethical anyway. He sure did. Yeah. Still does, by the way.
Is that when you started? After that? Is that when you really started? When did you start playing tournaments? When did you switch it from? What did you like better? Did you like gambling that way or tournaments?
1980, I played my first tournament.
Earl, tell me the story about the car. When you and I were talking by ourselves on the phone, like a month ago or a month and a half ago, and you were in a bar, you had no money, you were playing somebody, and you run into this guy in the bar, and the guy ends up giving you a car. You guys tell the story.
That's an amazing story. Yeah. I'm sitting at a traffic light in Pensacola. 1979 was a year. 1980, one of those. I can't remember exactly. I know it's like 1980. It wasn't after 1980. Anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm arguing with her. So I get out of the car and I go, she was from California. She went back to California, and I got out. So I just went straight. I was going to look for a phone booth to look for the yellow pages and look for some pool rooms so I could go gamble, find some money. And I'm walking, I see a bar. So I saw let's walk in this bar. I walk in, there's some guys playing like $2-3 9-ball ring game. So I get in the ring game, I bust the ring game, win about probably 60, 70, $80 or something. And said, good, I got a little more money now. And there's a guy sitting there. He says, "Man," he says, "you're a good player. Where'd you come from?" I says, well, I got in an argument with my girlfriend out there, and I got out, and I'm just on my own right now. I got to find somewhere to live, and then I'm a pool player. I play pool. He says, "Man, I know all the spots in town." He says, "Let's me and you hook up and go to them." I said, "Okay." So I wound up staying with the guy. He had a job, a good job, and a family and everything. He had a nice house. So I stayed with him in his house, and then we ran around and pumping up and playing in the bars, making a little money here and there. Then one day we beat this guy out of a bunch of money, a lot of money. And then after that, I looked at Roy and I said, "Roy," I said, "all the good things come to an end." He says, "Yeah, I knew one day." It'd been about 3 or 4 months I'd been living with him, and we'd been running around together. And he says, "Yeah, I knew you were going to say you have to go one day." That guy would have never wanted me to leave because I was like a walking teller machine, But
Yeah.
I says, "Yeah, I got to go buy a car. I need a car to get out of here." And he says, "No, you don't need a car. I got one for you." I says, "Really?"
So cool.
So he had 4 garage doors on his house, and he'd never opened the end ones. I'd only seen the first two open. I didn't know what was in the other ones. And he opened it up, and it was a 1970 LTD Ford muscle car, bucket seats with retracting headlights. It was a muscle car from the 70s. Beautiful, in mint condition. And he said, "It's yours." I says, "Really?" I said, "Yep." That was the nicest gift I ever got from anybody, really.
I think it's awesome.
That was a
That's
nice
great.
car.
Those are nice cars. I know exactly
And I
what you're
took off
talking
and I
about.
never saw him again.
It's just crazy though, because those stories, I understand those stories, right? I came across people all the time back then, and we'd make quite a bit of money together, became very good friends, and then just never saw them again or talked. It's just strange how that works.
Yeah.
What happened to the car, Earl?
Oh, I hate to tell you what happened to the car.
I think I
went
know.
back home. It didn't last. The car didn't last long. I went back home to Roseboro, North Carolina, where I grew up. Rolled in there, started drinking. These are my drinking days. So we got drunk, me and a bunch of friends that I grew up with. And I was asleep, and one of the guys that we drank with all night long was still drunk. He took my car and totaled it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Wrecked it and totaled it. And that was the end of the car.
I'm sure it wasn't insured.
You didn't need insurance then.
No, you didn't have to back then, right?
You didn't even have insurance.
Wow.
Those were the days, weren't they, huh? The first car I ever bought, this is no lie, paid $500 for it. It was a Plymouth Fury 3, 1963. The thing is big as a tank. It's huge. You could put a pool table in the trunk almost. That's how big the trunk was. Anyway, I buy it from the guy for $500. He takes a license plate that one of his license plates and puts on my car. You don't even need a normal license plate. You just need a license plate. That's all you need.
That's it. That's all you
Yeah,
need.
you can't go 2 miles down the road now without a camera recognizing your plate being
I know. The scanner, they scan you now. It's crazy. Big difference.
Yeah, I wish we could go back to those days.
No kidding.
To pay for nothing. Nah, I'm just joking.
No, I'm with you. I agree.
Yeah, of course. Big times, good times. Yeah, for
I
sure.
miss
All
those
of us.
days. Yeah.
Oh. All right. After that, you gamble. Where do you go next? So after you take the money, you win the car. Right? What's your next step? You're just going to keep going on the road, or is that when you start tournaments?
19 at the time. Then I went back to Houston, and that's when I played. Went back to Houston and hung out for another year. And then 1982, that's the year. That's really the year. I played some tournaments, but they weren't big tournaments where you would get like recognized and stuff, And then I started playing the big ones. In 1982, I qualified at a place called Cassidy's. You guys don't remember that place.
I'd heard of it.
It was a real big gambling pool room.
Yeah.
A lot of action. And they held a tournament one day. I think I was about 20 years old. What was it? 1982. I was 21. So they held a tournament. It was 1982. And the guy said, Earl, you going to play in a tournament? I said, nah, man, I don't play in tournaments. You'll get recognized and people, you won't be able to get any action. He said, come on, man, you got to play in a tournament. You're playing this pool room. So he talked me into it. I played the tournament. He says, you're going to win the tournament. I said, how do you know that? He says, who else is going to win a tournament? And he was right about that too. I won the tournament, and then that's when it started. After I won the tournament, everybody stood up and cheered for me. That's what hooked me was
really?
I never heard anybody physically clap for me after I finished a match. You know what I mean? And smiled and clapped and cheered. And that was a different feeling after I won the tournament. I realized that tournaments were a different atmosphere than gambling. You know, you don't cheer for the guy after he beats you in gambling. You want to kill him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you still want to kill a guy and pull in tournaments.
I'll never forget you telling me that, though. That was the defining moment for you
Yeah.
when you really, and I think you describe it really, really well, right?
That was really the difference. And I felt it that day in gambling and playing tournaments.
Yeah.
That after that, I felt that, well, this is what I want. I want to show people my
Your skills.
ability. I want to show them
what you got.
my
Talent, skill.
my
Talent, skill, you will.
My animation when I play. That's what I want to show. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I want to show people that I'm different than you, and I got more shots than you, and I can do things with the cue ball you can't do. You know what I mean? That's what I felt after winning the tournament. They appreciated what you did more. You know.
There was no
even though they were the same old people that I gambled with.
But showing people that, Earl, when you were showing that off, because I do know that feeling in a different game, there was no amount of money in the world that could replace you doing something that somebody else couldn't do and showing that to the people. There's just nothing that could ever, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, I agree, Scott.
Jump shot was one of them shots. I used to jump the balls in that pool room in Cassidy's, and they would be betting whether I make it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those are some amazing days. Playing 600 a game, 1,000 a game. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of pressure playing 1,000 a game.
Yeah, I played 25,000 a game for 10 straight days. I get it.
Yeah. Well, I got a funny feeling like when you were just talking about that. I just want to touch on what Scott said too. You talked about winning a car, winning thousands of dollars. You're excited about it, but winning that tournament when the crowd cheering for you, just something different, right? They got you hooked.
It started the whole thing, but it'll end in a bad way.
I disagree.
I don't think I'm not the person I used to be. But of course, I can't play like I used to. You know.
I think you need
I told you this too.
I lost my way for a while with the audience.
Yeah, I remember you came to Yale. And we had a huge crowd, right? And I looked at you and I said, "Everybody loves you." And you looked at me and you said, "Do they really?" Like you're almost like second guessing yourself, and it's hard for a person like myself or other people to realize you at top level, winning everything, being the best. We all admire you and respect you. You know how much you're cared and loved in this sport. It's amazing. Like you have to understand it. And we're so happy to have you keep doing what you're doing, playing, doing events, doing trick shots, everything you do. We really appreciate it, Earl. We really do.
That's all I can do now. I can't. This 9-ball the way it is. I honestly believe if they put the 1 back on the spot and took the jump cue away and break from just a box like they do at Turning Stone, I could compete. But the way it is, I play a good safe, I get punished with a jump stick. I make a good break, I never make a ball. I don't think. And I think Efren feels the same way, which I think Efren's more gone than I am. You know what I mean? I think I still have a glimpse of a chance, but at the same time, I think it's over. You know what I mean?
Well, let me speak, Bobby. Let me speak because I have a different perspective than you do, and I kind of can relate to Earl, and I don't think I can help, or I'm some type of psychiatrist or anything like that. That's ridiculous, but I think you are aware of the fact that age and nerves can't be defeated. We can't defeat Father Time. But what can't also be defeated are your titles and who you were as a player. And hopefully you recognize the fact that it's not over. It's just a different chapter. That's really what I hope for you. Because yeah, you are different. You're different than you used to be because when you were in your prime, I knew you very well. You were a stone cold killer, and I was the same way. Okay. But you're a different person now. You're much more personable, and I am the same way. I'm not attacking you. I'm the same way because I was a different person when I went in that pool room. So there's a great version of you still to come. It doesn't have to be that you're winning all the time. You know, I firmly believe that because
That's what
now go
you
ahead.
see all the gimmicks. That's what's I'm trying to keep myself intact. That's why you see all the changes all the time. The grips, the weights, the fingers. I'm doing whatever I can to keep my game intact. You know what I mean? If I just stay one dimensional, I'm gonna blow away like dust on the damn sidewalk. You know what I mean?
I understand that. I guess what I'm
Gotta
saying
keep
is
changing stuff. Pool is forever changing, Scott.
I
Forever
agree.
changing.
Agreed.
It's not going to stay the same. It's forever changing all the time, all the time.
And we want to see you keep playing, but maybe
Yes.
maybe something you can realize is that it's okay to not win anymore, right?
Yeah.
If you I know it's
Yeah, right.
hard, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it and not win. I had to walk away and find something different because I still love the sport.
Well, I'm doing
So
the same thing now. I'm lucky I learned to do some trick shots, and
great.
I can. I'm pretty good in exhibitions,
Yes.
and then
You're great.
teaching's come along. There's a lot of teaching going on now, which is good for professionals.
Great.
But I've got to come to terms with the fact that it's over. I mean, I still don't think it's over because I'm still intact physically, and my game is somewhat still intact to some degree. I still think I could beat the best player in the world right now if things went my way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but at the same time, just you can win a match and then can't win two. I've been doing this for like the last 4 or 5 years. I win a match and I go, man, I won a match, and then I lose one too. I've been doing that. I do it every tournament.
Well, that's the
So,
nerves and age, I think.
and
That's
it's
just it.
just I can't get through two matches. This is funny too. If they would play me one match a day, I might have a chance. I can't play two. I ain't got enough energy to play two matches. But
I
I
get
don't
it. I
know.
get it. I get it.
But at the
Right.
same time, I want to thank Jay Flowers, my sponsor,
Mine
Of
for
too.
course, ours
their
too. Yeah,
for their
absolutely.
for their sponsorship because they're
Great people.
keeping me alive right now. They're
Yeah.
keeping me in the game, and they're keeping me alive literally. So I want to thank them a lot. And
Nice.
but I do want to keep playing. I I've had thoughts of going back on tour and playing every tournament.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
really believe if I was to go out there and play every event, my game would come back to some degree. You can't
Earl,
sit at home and think your game's going to come back. It
we're
ain't.
working on something, Earl. We're
It
working
won't
on
do that.
something.
I
I
can't
want
stay
to.
in the basement and practice 8 hours a day and think that I can walk out of that basement and play against the best players in the world. You've got to be there playing with them week in and week out, or month in and month out, whatever. And then you got to be out there paying your dues just like you always did. You know?
Yeah. You ran 100 straight balls on table 4, the table 8 at Yale last year on the tight table. Remember that? You wouldn't
Yeah, I
stop
ran
until you ran
100
100
balls on
balls
it.
on
I still
4-inch
say
table.
straight pool is the most equalizing game there is. This 9 ball, if I can't match the guy's break, literally it's just one shot. Even it ain't even all the shots. It's just one shot. If you can't match that guy making the one ball on the side, you're
Yeah.
at such a disadvantage. I can't even explain it. You know what I mean,
Well,
Scott?
I do, but I've
You don't
covered
make
so
that
many
one on the side.
matches. I've covered so many matches, though they're not running packages. I've covered so many matches where they make the one on the side, but they're not getting looks. Um, but to your point, the elites, the top guys, I mean, they're like 85-90% to make it the side every time,
Yeah.
90%, right? So it's tough to fade. It's tough to fade because they can adjust with the tables adjusting. They can adjust with the speed. They can do a lot of different things. You can make the one on the side. You've done it over and over. But maybe the difference is when the equipment starts to change by the hour. I don't know. I mean,
I
thvery
hardly ever make it, Scott. I make it like one
You
out of
did you did in the Philippines.
I made it a few more there, yeah, but I've never seen nothing like it. The guy making it, I've seen guys make it 100% of the time. You know,
Well, when
I
you practice straight pool at your place every day, 8 hours a day, why don't you spend 3 hours a day on the break shot?
break shot. It ain't gonna do me no good. I still can't. I've tried it over and over and over. My table won't give me the right results because the
But
clock's
it's
slow.
still the hit, right? You know that. It's still the hit.
I don't know what it is. I don't. I'm not the only one that can't make it.
Yeah, of
Kennedy
course.
can't make it. Tommy Kennedy. I talked to him. I said, "Can you make the one on the side?" He says, "No, I can't make it." I mean, how? There's a guy had a good break, but he can't. This break is weird. It's I. We're not programmed for it.
No, I understand.
Different. It's different.
Older
Different.
guys.
All right. Well, let's talk about
Rodney Morris. I don't think Rodney can make it either. Rodney can't make
Right,
it.
right.
Have you played the ultimate pool yet, Earl? Have you seen that? Have you played in that ultimate pool bar table 8-ball yet?
Where they're playing
No.
with the speed, the clock.
Yeah, with the speed clock.
Bar
No,
table
I
eight
haven't
ball.
played it.
No, okay. There are things like Scott's saying like that, and Scott's got some big things coming, right? There's a lot of
Yeah,
things that
yeah.
are
So
happening.
so the patch here, and I think Earl knows who these people are. I cannot talk about it, but Earl, you're a big part of it. Something very big coming. Hilltop Promotions is the sponsor of this podcast. They're the title sponsor, Stephen
Yes.
Tucker and Joe Furtado. They're great people. I've been working with them for 8 months. We've built a venue, or they have built a venue, and it's going to be one-on-one matches, and they're putting up a lot of money. And the winner of that match gets to go on. Now, we're not going to match you up with SVB or somebody that I don't think that you have a chance to beat. But you are at the top of the list with potentially playing one of these matches, and it's serious money to play this match. And I think it's a great thing. Hilltop Promotions, people better not forget it because they're real and they're great people that have not sucked money out of the industry over the last 30 years. They're just such good people. Joe Furtado, Stephen Tucker, Hilltop Promotions. Remember it, and it's coming soon.
Nobody thinks we can play straight pull. It's easy to do. All you do is you run 45 balls and I run 45. You run 45, I run 45. You got 20 seconds to shoot. That's faster than 9-ball.
The pool player in me doesn't argue with you there, right? But the production side of me does. And that's the problem. When you've got viewers from Asia, viewers from Europe, and that's where the concern comes in because these people have to make some type of money in order to pay you. And that's the only problem. I'm not arguing with that, right?
So it's
That's the
just
problem.
it don't make sense. Like if you could be in the match, I think you could play straight pull until you're 80. You know what I mean?
And one pocket.
But you can't play 9-ball until
one
you're
pocket
80.
too.
It's interesting, but I
No,
still
you can't.
think 9-ball is a broken game, and it's you could be playing the best pool in the world and lose 8-0, 9-0, 10-0.
Sure.
We talk about that. Scott and I talk about that
But in
all the
my
time.
format, wait a minute now. In my format, straight pull, you're never out of the match. You're never out of it. I'm telling you.
But Earl, when you
I
were
could
in your
start
prime,
missing. You know what I mean?
when you were in your prime, you were dominating though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And let's talk about that, right? You played a set. You ran a set for $1 million. Can we talk about that? You ran out for $1 million, right?
that was luck.
No chance it was luck. That was one of the best combinations I've ever seen in my life.
We have to
That's
talk
the
about
best.
that.
That's the best combination I've ever seen in my life under the
But
gun.
overall, it was luck.
Come on,
it was
man.
everything. Let me tell you what had to happen for that to happen.
Earl.
There was a
wasn't
cold front that night. A cold front came through. We were playing in Dallas. It was 100 degrees when we got there. The pool room we're playing in CJ's place. He didn't have the best air conditioning in the world. The place was brutal. It was sticky and hot. The first night, I played terrible. You know, I was playing terrible, right? The first night, because it was hot and sticky, 100 degrees outside. That night, a big storm blew through. It was in April, and they can happen in April in Texas. And a cold front came behind it. It dropped the humidity and the dew point way down. Humidity went down to 25%, I think it was, maybe 30%, which is very low for there. So I saw that. I felt it too. You know, I can feel it, you know. I said, man, you know, now we got the right conditions to run the 10 racks. With it sweltering hot, you ain't going to run 10 racks. You understand? It ain't going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know.
the cloth was new, which is important. That's one factor. Cloth's got to be new. Humidity has to be very low. It was an early round match. Not too many people in the audience. Okay? Listen to me now. These things all played a factor in me doing it.
Sure.
Then we were playing rack your own, which was a big part of it. I took this giant terry cloth towel, which was broken in 1,000 billion times over. Wouldn't shed, none at all. So I cleaned every ball, every game. Okay, fast as I could. Took the towel and swept the table with it. Because at home, when I was training to try to run 10 racks, when they put the news out that they were going to give $1 million away for a 10 rack run, I started training on how to do it right then. So at home, I could never run that many. And then I started cleaning everything, and I started running more. I said, man, I can do it. I can do it. If I clean everything, I can do it. So I cleaned every ball, the table, every game.
Every game.
Yeah. And I was running, literally. And I was doing a lot of running then. I was in good shape. I was running so that the guy wouldn't complain that I was taking too long.
Yeah.
Imagine this now. I ran 10 stinking racks, running around the table, cleaning it, cleaning the balls, racking the balls, breaking them, running around the table, breaking the balls, racking, cleaning the balls, running around the table 10 times. Actually 11, around 11. And but there was, you know, I actually cheated. You know, basically I cheated, but there was no rules. They didn't have a sheet of rules, so I took advantage of it.
Well, how did you cheat? How'd you cheat?
That's not cheating.
Cleaning everything.
That's not
That's
cheating.
not cheating, though.
No.
I used to do it all the time.
No.
John Schmidt was big on that.
But
So listen,
I'll
how
tell
did
you
it
right
feel
now,
when you made the combination? How did it
if
feel?
I didn't clean everything, Scott, I would have never made it to, you know.
I don't disagree, but you're still running around the table and all that has to add up. How did it feel when you made the combination?
You know, I had a shot to pocket the ball, but I couldn't get position. I was going to run into the two, and I didn't know where the two was going to go. And just soon as I saw I didn't know where the two was going to go, I said, I'm shooting the combination because I got a chance at it, and I fired it in.
What'd it feel like?
That was a pretty amazing shot. It wasn't that easy either. It was
No, it was not.
No, a really tough shot.
It was kind of difficult, and I didn't take long either. I jumped right down and whacked it in. I figured if I took a long time, that I would overthink it. You know.
How did it feel after that? After you made
that felt
that
great. I thought the first thing I felt is I've won $1 million. You know, and then the guy told me I'm not getting my money.
That's a whole nother story, right?
Popped like a balloon. He told me I wasn't getting my money.
Did they tell you right away that you weren't going to get it, or there was? I know there was a stipulation to it, right?
The next day,
there was an insurance problem.
Can you get into that? Tell everybody what happened.
The company he insured it with tried to renege.
Yeah.
And
they paid a portion, right?
It took 2 years to get the money we got. It took a while to get anything out of them, but it was worth it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It was an amazing thing. It was still
in
our eyes, you did it for $1 million, and in your
eyes,
eyes,
I ran 8 or 9. Eight. I've ran 8 before, Scott. I've ran 8 without making a 9 on the break. Right, a clean 8. You know, pocketed every ball. how many times is that going to happen? It's very rare. When
I
you
ran
do
7
run, a
once.
lot of times when you run 8 or 9, 10 racks, you'll make a combination or something somewhere along the way.
Now,
Yeah.
did you win the lag, or they miss and then you ran out and were?
I won the lag and ran 11 racks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For $1 million. What kind of pressure?
And those things that I talked about.
What about rack 7, rack 8? At what point are you like, holy shit, I'm going to do this?
I had to play for luck on one shot. I didn't
Go
have
ahead.
a shot.
What happened?
Sometimes you do, though. You got to gamble playing 9-ball.
I frammed the ball into another ball, and I lucked one in. It was the only thing I could do.
Yeah.
So there you go. No, there's a lot of little things. But I still say the most important the most important thing that needed to happen was the humidity had to go down. I think that's the key to when you play high level pool. The atmosphere is right. You know what I mean?
No question.
And you know, some of these places we play in, like out in Vegas, these giant ballrooms, these convention centers, they have state-of-the-art heating and cooling and dehumidifying systems. You can see the tables play real good out there in those places.
Where I live here in
Phoenix is a dry.
Yeah.
We're spoiled.
I'll give you a good example too. If you look at my record in Reno, which is a desert, it's a mountain desert. It's dry, very dry there. When I first went there and I felt how the atmosphere, man, it was unreal how good I played there. When I first went there, I was unbeatable, period. I played 20 years there, 20 tournaments. I was in the finals 10 times.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
That's an incredible stat.
That's
in any sport.
Stat.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, one of the reasons,
you know what I mean? That's like incredible to be in the finals in an event 20 times, 10 times.
I think one of the reasons you were so good when the conditions were right, Earl, and I've talked about this with you, is your style. You were a power player.
I could let my stroke go.
Yes,
I wasn't worried about the ball doing weird things.
That's right. You were a power player.
Go ahead. You're right. It would loosen me up. My stroke, because I knew
deadly.
That the ball wouldn't boing off the rail or the ball wouldn't skid, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things are important when you're playing good pool, that you don't have these extra, problems to think about. That's what happened the other day when I played at the Expo. But the same thing happens to me there every time I go, because the conditions of the building are difficult. And it's not dry in there, it's wet.
I got a question off the subject, Earl. Off the subject. Shane Van Boning. Your first thought that comes to your mind. Do you think what chance do you think percentage-wise out of 100% does he have to get number 6 title nowadays with the players that are out there at the U.S. Open?
Well, time's sure ticking against him right now, is all I got to say. Because you get a little bit older, especially in this modern era. This is the modern U.S. Open era, and there's a lot of players can beat you early. That's you got to beat a lot of good players now to win the event. And I'd say back in the day, you wouldn't have to win, but beat half the good players to win the event. But now you're lucky if you get a good draw, easy draw at the Open. You could get a tough draw all the way through. But I'm sure he'll get a draw or two where he's still going to have to win 4 or 5 tough matches, to win it. And he's getting older. What is he, 42 now? 41?
42.
42?
He's knocking 42. Or 43. He's 42 or 43.
He's 42 right now, because I'm 20. He's 23 years younger than me. I'm 65. That's right. If he don't get it now, he ain't going to get it.
Yeah, it's going to get tougher every year.
In the next couple of years, I think. They don't get it. Might not get it.
Let's take a little bit about what about your runs? Like when you're winning at U.S. Open after U.S. Open, you know what I mean? And when people got to play you after your third win of the U.S. Open, they obviously feared you, right? Did you feel you were unbeatable? when you were making those runs, or were
Of
you?
course.
The only time I felt unbeatable was when the conditions were right. Always the conditions had to be right. That was the very first thing. I was the first guy to ever clean a pool table at the U.S. Open. They were laughing at me for years, laughing at me. I kept blowtorching everybody I cleaned the table on, so I know. And I kept winning U.S. Opens because I was the smartest guy in the tournament. I knew that the table had to stay dry for me to win multiple U.S. Opens. And that was one of my plans in the beginning once I realized what a wet climate Norfolk is. Very, very
Oh
damp.
yeah. Oh
There's
yeah.
water everywhere.
Yeah.
What I mean, very damp area. I remember in the 1997 U.S. Open, I was playing Reyes in the finals, and the tournament, it had been sweltering the whole tournament, hot. And then I was worried that night before. I was worried because I thought the table was going to play goofy and he would beat me. And then a cold front came through, and I was standing out on the balcony watching it. I says, "Oh, he's mine." And I beat him 11-3. I beat him pretty bad. And
That's a good
and I
win. That's a
knew
big win.
as soon as I felt the cold front coming, I knew I was going to win. It's all about conditions. It's just
Conditions and
Well,
confidence, right? Because
don't get me wrong. There was a time when I played good, really great under bad conditions. You know what I mean? But that was a
course.
long, long time ago. Once I got into tournaments, and there's more pressure in the tournaments. And that's why the table has to be more conducive. And you don't have but so long to prove yourself. It ain't like a gambling match where if you lose a set for 300, you can play another one. You don't. It's not like that. There's more pressure in the tournaments. I think that's the thing I liked about it when I played that first tournament in Houston that time, that qualifier, was I felt the pressure. The pressure was different, and that's what I wanted.
Well, it's
I wanted
different.
that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
you love it. You love the pressure. You live for the pressure.
Yeah, and that's what made
Did you
me
live
start.
for it?
When I got in tournaments, that's what made me realize that the table had to be better than what we were doing in gambling, than what we were playing on in the gambling matches. It made me realize it didn't take long either, a few years. It made me realize that the tournament table had to be more conducive to high level play because you don't have long to prove yourself either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
You have to make less mistakes.
very important.
Oh, you
to
got to
a
get out
great
quick.
player, to a front runner, that the
Yeah.
table is conducive. More
Yeah,
conducive.
you got to get out quick. Guys,
Yeah.
don't bother me. I'm texting my editor.
I
our
love front
editor.
running. It's just no other. That's the best way to win. Of course, I came from behind a lot too, but I was a front runner. I thought.
Well, you played a lot of big matches. What was your most proud win? Your World Championships, your U.S. Opens. The $1 million rack, 10 rack. What do you think? You look back now and say, that was my.
I know what my
moment.
biggest disappointment was when I didn't win the World Tournament against Mika in Steinway in New York City. That was I won every major title I was ever in the finals, and I didn't get that one. But I wanted that straight pool tournament to prove that all the people that said I was only a 9-ball player and I couldn't play 8-ball, I couldn't play straight pool, I couldn't play one pocket, I couldn't play other games. I could play any game that I put my mind to, I think. And I'm still a good one pocket player if I'm patient.
Oh yeah.
I don't have enough patience for that game. And I'm really a good bank pool player. A lot of people don't know how good I bank, really.
Oh, you're a
Nearly
great
won the
player.
banks in Derby one year. I finished third. I almost got there. Bustamante beat me. If Bustamante wasn't there, I would have won it. That guy banks
he's a
good.
world. Yeah, he does.
He's one of the best bankers I ever seen. And then straight pool, I started too late. I wish I'd have started playing straight pool the day I was born. I'd missed out. 30 years I missed out on straight pool. That's a lot of knowledge. And
I wish you'd work on your
back
break
to what
more.
your question was, about what tournament
you're most proud of. The one you look back at, what was the $1 million, or was it a separate event?
I still think the last tournament I won is the most significant to me, against Bustamante. And there's another
Okay.
reason why. That guy
All
was one
right.
of the best players I ever played.
What tournament? What tournament? What year?
The
Earl?
legends.
2002 in
Oh,
Cardiff.
2002 in
2002, the World
Cardiff.
Tournament
Oh,
in
Yeah,
Cardiff,
yeah, yeah,
WPA in Cardiff,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
2002. That was my best win
Not the
because
legends.
it was my last one.
That was he played Boosty, right?
And that environment there in Cardiff was one of the best arenas in the world. That was a great pool arena.
It's Classic Billiards in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That's right, South Florida. It's Dave and Leah Bartosiak, and it's wings, beer, and balls, baby.
Let's take a quick second and talk about Elvis from In the Box. That's right. The link is in the bio. If you need a backdrop, if you need a shirt, if you need a jersey for your team, for your player, your favorite player, if you want one with your name on it, they have the quarter zips, everything. High quality. Mention the Boom and Freezer. You get a discount. That's In the Box. Check it out. Great quality. Backdrops, shirts, quarter zips, whatever you need. That's In the Box. Check them out.
You changed the game for 9-ball growing up. I mean, you took 9-ball to the next level for so many people. And how does that make you feel when people just come up to you and say, "Hey, Earl, you're my idol. You're the best. I love watching you." How does that make you feel? Because there's so many people out there that you've done.
The only player that followed me pretty much entirely is Shane Van Boeing. All the other players, I think they copy your styles a little bit, but they play so much open-handed that there's just the players. Years ago, we used to copy each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to copy now. It's just one-dimensional, this open-hand bridge. I still say you got to play a fixed game like I want to do, where you run 45 and I run 45, because that way you can go. We could go to a 5x10. You know what I mean? And make players get off their thumbs, because I know you can't make a straight pull break on a 5x10 open-handed and get the right result. You understand what I just said?
I do at 100%. I teach.
There's straight pull breaks that you need to use a closed bridge on in straight pull. The closed bridge is being erased with all these knuckleheads playing off their thumbs because the cloth is allowing it to some degree, I guess, or I don't know what the hell's going on. I think the table, if you want to know the truth, yeah, you think I'm crazy? I'm going to tell you how crazy I am right now. We should be playing my format. You run 45, I run 45, you run 45, I run 45, 20 seconds to shoot. Whoever misses the most loses on a 6x12. That's where we should be. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
You want me to get frank with you?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, I'm telling you right now, these clowns can't play.
Right.
You go take them to a bigger table and see how good they are.
20-second shot clock.
Get them off their thumbs.
Right, 6x12, 20-second shot clock.
I'm telling you right now, if you go to a 6x12 and play my format, total offense, you're going to have to make a bridge. You're going to have to. I don't believe you can play the whole table open-handed. I don't believe that. So that's one of the most disturbing things to me in pool, is no one has inherited my big game except one guy, Shane Van Boeing. He's the only guy that copied me that I see. The rest of them are just all playing out their thumbs. And I still say they can't even make bridges, hardly. Here's a guy, he's a world-class player, can't make a bridge. If you look at the players from years ago, Moscone, Crane, all them guys, they were making bridges. But there was a reason why they made bridges. They usually, back in the day, the Moscone era, they played with a closed bridge like me more than they do an open bridge. But there's a reason why. Those guys came out of the 1800s, into the early 19 teens, and they were playing on 5x10s. They'd never seen a 4.5x9 or a bar table because it didn't exist yet. And they played billiards. Oh, they were all billiard players. Have you ever seen a billiard player play open-handed?
No chance.
No. And you never will.
Right.
You know why? Because the ball's like a
The
damn
ball,
grapefruit.
it's massive. Yeah.
You can't
And
hit the ball hard enough with an open hand bridge on a billiard table. That's why they don't. And all them guys, Moscone, Bosses, Crane, so all of them came from the straight off billiards too. They were all billiard players. You understand?
Sure.
5x10 straight pool players and billiard players. We couldn't carry their chalk. That's the damn truth. You want to know the real truth? We couldn't carry their chalk. I don't think. So let's go to a 6x12. I guarantee you, you can go to a 6x12 right now and play my format, and I might beat the best player in the world. But I can't beat him doing nothing with this magic rack and a jump stick and a freaking trick break. I want to play pool. I want to get up and shoot. I want to show you how good I am. How can I do that sitting in a chair? Sitting over there fumbling my fingers and laughing at me because I'm not shooting. I don't think it's competitive. The other day when I was sitting there with Ocean and he was beating me by 8 games, I looked at the audience and I said, don't you guys realize this is not competitive? So that's a good point, ain't it?
It is a good point, and I'm going to touch on it real quick. Victor Zielinski, he wins the tournament. They both struggled in the finals. The GoFundMe great, Lebowski or whatever his name was, great young player. But the reason I'm touching on this is I talked about this in the finals, Earl. Zielinski would power the ball with an open bridge, length of the table, draw stroke. I teach against that. I teach against that.
Yeah, I don't ever teach an open bridge draw like
no
that.
chance, because the cue can come out of the hand real quickly, right? Real quickly. So, but what I'm going to say to that is, right, because I'm always trying to look at both sides, is these guys have to have really good fucking technique in order to be able to draw the ball length of the table in these conditions with an open bridge. You have to have a good technique to be able to do that. I'm not saying it's right.
So he's a strong kid. He's a big kid.
He is, and he's lanky, and he's got a real nice, crisp open bridge. But I'm with you. My whole point is I'm with you on that. But we do see some of these guys now, or most of them, with an open bridge playing the whole game with it. And I mean, I'm just stunned that they can do it. And it does
me too.
It has to credit their technique, though. It has to.
I think even a 5x10, if you were playing straight pool on a 5x10, they would have to bridge up some.
I would agree.
They would have to make some bridges here and there, especially on some of the break shots.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you right now, straight pool is the most talented pool game I've ever played. It's a shame that I've only played it for 30 years. I missed the first 30 years because I didn't think it was that great a game until Alan Hopkins insulted me one day, told me that I couldn't play straight pool, said I couldn't run a rack. And I said, you're crazy, and say I can't run a rack. He looked at me, he says, I'm telling you right now, you can't run a rack. You know what? I went home and I couldn't run a rack. But you'll be surprised too. How about this? Say you got to run 200. Say we're playing straight pool we're playing straight pool as a professional game, not 9-ball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to run 200 balls to get a card to be a pro. How do you like that? How many people do you think there are in the world that can run 200 balls?
Not a lot. 20, 30, maybe.
I'd say there's more, but I'm just saying that.
Depending on the equipment. Are you talking
You're
on
right.
6x12?
That's a good point. The condition of the table plays a vital role in how, if you will be able to do. Even a great player, I say.
I don't think. What table?
I think you would eliminate. You would kill off just about every player.
What table are you talking about there? Because I think I've got a good idea.
4.5 by 9.
Run tight pockets balls. Tight pockets or
just 4.5 standard like.
Oh, there's a lot of guys. I think there's a lot of guys. I think.
But it ain't no 1,000 now.
No,
it ain't no 500.
I don't think it's 100. It might.
Yeah, it's getting pretty low. Yeah.
It might be 100.
That's more like what I would like to want to do to pool. I would like to get rid of players. I'd like to level I'd like to shrink the talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I
Cream
was.
rise to the top.
If I, oh God, I wish I would have saved all my money I won and made in my life. I wish I would have saved it all. I would start a tour right now, and you'd have to run 200 balls to be a pro. And or then if I couldn't get enough, I'd go to 150. But anyway, I would like to see a tour like that on a 5x10 at least, where you're playing offensive straight pull and 20 seconds to shoot. Now, and you think about that right there for a minute, Scott. You got 20 seconds to shoot on a 5x10.
Yeah,
You're
that's
going to have to
insanely
be,
quick.
listen, you're going to have to be running the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we
Yeah,
played
you are gonna move it.
we played bonus ball, and that was a 24-second clock.
That was short, wasn't it?
In a complicated game, and there was a lot of pressure on us on the TV, right?
I might have to go to 24 with straight pull.
20's really quick with a 6 and 12. I don't even know if you'd have time. I mean,
Get around. Get them over around.
I ain't giving them 30. I'd already seen them. They can milk 30 seconds. So they're not getting 30.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's too long. I played Darren Appleton. They gave him 45 seconds. I said, that's too long, 45 seconds. You know what he did the whole match? He would drag his cue around and wait for the clock to get to 5 and then shoot. Then he would drag his cue around and wait for the clock to get to 5 and then shoot. He did that for 3 days. He did it to me. I said, this is crazy. I told him, I said, the match would have ended a day early if you didn't do that.
Alex Paguline was good at that as well.
I love Appleton to death, but I don't like playing pool with him. He's too slow. God. All these guys are too slow.
Well, Fedor Gorst, I talk about him in commentary. Fedor utilizes the shot clock better than anybody. There's just no question. He's utilizing. It is a ploy. It is a ploy. But listen, but you can't knock him for understanding right where the seconds are at without even having to look at the clock, right? That's what
I never
he does.
did that. I shot within 6 seconds.
But that's who you were.
Something that was a little troublesome. I shot within 6 seconds my entire life. Clock, no clock. So
you were a raw powerhouse.
No,
you were a raw powerhouse.
Yes, that ain't what it was. I wanted people to enjoy watching me play.
But you were still a powerhouse.
Whether they love me or hate me, even the haters will watch me. So there you go.
I think you worry too much about that. I think everybody deep down. I think everybody deep down, absolutely. If anybody could actually knock your pool game, that's incredible to me. They listen.
Yeah,
I understand your attitude. You and I've gotten along forever. I completely understand your attitude. Not everybody can walk around the table and just be nice and destroy somebody. I mean, I could never do it. I just couldn't do it. I was a different person when I was playing, but it is what it is.
I still say the straight pool is not my format, the best game. And I still say it's more marketable because you're pocketing balls and we can brainwash the public. And what I mean by that?
Well, with good commentators, I think you could.
No. You got how you brainwash the public with pool. We've been unable to do it for the last 200 years. And I'll tell you why, because there's too much bullshit. See, if you play just pocketing balls and then every time you miss, you just start pocketing balls again. It's all about pocketing balls. There's no kicking, no safing, no jumping, none of that bullshit, no racking, no waiting, 20 seconds to shoot. These things are important to getting a broader audience. You know what I mean? And we can't tap into that market because of the way we play. These pool players are the most selfish people I've ever seen. Like we were just talking about. I'm playing off my sleeves. I ain't playing by no clock. You know what I mean?
I know that.
You're going into the match with an idea how to shark me. I don't do that. That's why I won so much. And Efren don't either. We go into the match to play.
I don't know that they're going into. I don't know that Federer's going into shark somebody. I think that his style is just different.
Well, it don't add up. It's just he's too good a player to try to mind screw me. You know what I mean? No, I don't like the mind screwing. You think Efren ever mind screwed anybody? That
No.
guy sees the table quicker than anybody on earth. You understand? When the balls stop rolling, I
Oh,
bet
I
you no
understand.
one can figure out what to do faster than him.
Nobody played him more than I did. I guarantee it.
He doesn't screw around like Gorst. I don't like what Gorst does. If he's good enough to play this great a pool, he's good enough to do it in a normal amount of time. So
you don't like the fact he just takes a long, full extension of the shot clock?
no, I
single
think
time.
if he's got 3 stop shots, just go ahead and shoot him.
I think
all
that
the
there's more
formality.
to it than that for him. I'm not defending him, but I think that there's more to it for him.
What about there's all kinds of guys. You
but
know
he's
how
a
many,
he's a very mechanical player.
you
Federer.
guys are you guys blind or what? Every
Well,
guy out there's got some
I
kind
am
of
I am blind. I am blind.
I'm
Technically,
telling you,
my
every
left
guy
eye.
out there's got some creepiness about him. You understand? That's why you can't go nowhere. You can't turn a page and pull because none of them are on the same page. Don't you know every one of them was a general? There's no soldiers.
Yeah,
Can't win a war with no soldiers.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Every guy out there's going to lead me out of bondage. Couldn't lead me out of a lake of shit, much less bondage. There you go. You got to get rid of this clone stuff, this perfect stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
play like I did. I never act like I was perfect. I just played. You know what I mean? Buddy never act like he was perfect. Buddy never act like he was perfect. That guy I played the other day act like he was better than me as a person. You understand?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things I'm talking about.
There's a lot of really good guys still on tour. There's a lot.
But
there
they
are.
they still have a plan to disorient me. I don't have plans to disorient anybody. The only way I'm going to disorient you is playing better than you. That ain't what's going on in pool. These guys got all kinds of little tricks and plans they're going to use while they're playing.
Yeah, we hear you.
You need to get rid of all the tricks, the jump stick, everything. You got to get rid of all the crap, the rack, the magic rack, everything, and play my format. And then we can brainwash the public. You understand?
Yeah.
You can't brainwash them with all this crap. Can't do it.
Listen here. I fish at a high level. Always have. Okay. And fishing and pool are very similar when it comes to the tours. And the problem is, and I'm just going to make an analogy or an example here. In professional fishing, and we have a lot of viewers out there that do fish at high levels. In professional fishing now, there's graphs, meaning there's these computers on your bass boat that actually tell you where the fish is, how big it is, live, and you can throw your bait at it, and you can see your bait actually go to the fish. And if it's not close, you can rethrow the bait. Now, the point is that technology, it's called Live Scope, okay? And that technology, it's made by Garmin. That technology is in every professional bass boat, not just one. They've got like 5 of these graphs on each boat. Now, you talk about a jump cue. The problem is that there's so much money in that technology, in that industry, it's actually ruined the sport in fishing. It's ruined the sport because now you got these guys that were raw, that didn't have something that told you where the fish were, and they were out there finding them by feel, by structure, by temperature, by this, by that, and they could actually go out and catch fish without all these crutches. I'm comparing this to what you're talking about when you've got the magic ring. Now, the flip side of that is, or the devil's advocate, and the devil is advocating for this, is the money, okay? When you've got these sponsors with the great equipment, the break cues, the jump cues, the racks, the problem is they're the only ones that are supporting these tours.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the problem.
Well, I still say
in trouble.
You know, I would rather play a game that keeps me in the game. 9 ball doesn't keep me around. It won't. Like as I get older, I think straight pull is a game that it lends itself to older players, and they have the knowledge too. The older players,
Oh
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
of
a lot of
course.
knowledge
Knowledge
about
and
bumping in
skills. They got the skills.
like bumping in the pool balls. They have a little more knowledge than the other guys. Just little
Yeah.
shots
No.
here and there. But 9 ball is gone. It's like it's lost in space. It really is. I think it's. You can get beat by most. You get beat by people you don't even know. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah, there's a
women. You get beat by
big
women.
pool of great players, and yeah, some good women players out there.
You get beat by kids that are 15, maybe 14, 15. Get beat by them.
It's a
You
different
get
era, right?
beat
Well,
by.
I mean, that's what you used to do, though, right? When you were 15, you were
You
beating
get beat
everybody.
you get beat by people that can't beat you, literally. You know what I mean? Because the balls. You know who beat me one time? You won't even believe it. You don't know him, Bobby, but Scott knows him. Maybe you know him. No disrespect to him. I played bad. I don't know what happened. Harry Plattis beat me one time.
In a tournament? In a race?
Yeah.
In like a real tournament?
In a race to 9, he physically beat me. And let me tell you how the match went. I remember a lot of it. I broke, scratched. He had a 1-9. He broke, the 9 went in. I think he had me 4 or 5-0 before I won a game. He broke, he got a 1-9. He broke, he got a tie. He could make a few balls. You know what I mean?
He could play a little. Yeah, he could play.
He could run
He
a
and I
rack or
gambled a
two
lot.
if the balls lay right.
Yeah,
He had me like 4 or 5-0. I finally win a game. I break, I scratch, I leave him a 1-9. He breaks, he makes the 9. That's how the match went. You understand?
Yeah.
He beat me 9-7. And
You had every roll against you. There's nothing you can do. You didn't do anything wrong.
And Scott knows him, and Scott knows that he should never, ever win a pool match against a world-class player, ever.
Well, shout out to our friend.
But
Harry
he
Plattis,
did. He did because of the game that you're playing.
But Earl, you dominated at that game.
Doesn't matter. I still lost to a guy that should never beat me in a million years.
But that's the beauty.
And then the first time I lost to Gerda Hofstadter.
Yeah.
Then I really realized something pool's really going in the wrong direction when I lost that match. But that was the worst tables I've ever played pool on. That IPT thing. It was the worst cloth I've ever played pool on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I didn't even know how to play on the tables.
That was that Maui cloth.
She beat me 8-7. And then just getting beat by certain people in my life proved to me that pool is set up wrong. I shouldn't have these people on my resume. I should have never lost any of these. Even if I played them, I should have been playing a game that protected me. You understand? You're playing a game that has no protection. Absolutely none.
Well,
I was going to ask you, is that why you draw in the one pocket? Because you take a little bit of that out. There still is a little bit of fortunate moves in one pocket. But
I
mean, you can outthink, and there's a lot less luck. I mean, I earned $20+ million.
There's luck. No, there's luck in all pool games.
There is, but I said there's a lot less luck.
There is, true. But there's less luck in straight pool.
It's not even close.
Wait a minute. Now listen. There's less luck in straight pool than one pocket.
But neither one of them are going to sell on TV.
I understand that, but I still say that straight pool has less luck than any pool game.
I'm not disagreeing. Well, I disagree. Completely disagree. I think bank pool has the least amount of luck. And I don't think.
That's a good point, yeah. But, you could miss all day long and not leave me the right shot.
Yeah, but there's more variables in straight pool, right? So you can get a little bit more lucky.
But
it's second.
The shots, but
it's
you got to call everything in straight pool too. I still say that straight pool protects a player until he's ready to retire. And 9 ball won't, 8 ball won't, all the other games won't. They won't protect you. The reason why is because straight pool is a harder game than all the other games.
I don't know that anybody's going to argue that.
And you're never in control. Even if you play good one day, the next day there's no guarantee you're going to beat me. And I'm 65 and you're 30 and you still don't have to win. That's what I like about straight pool. In 9-ball, I'm going to lose every time. You understand? So.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Like you talk about 1 or 2 or 3 matches, and here we are talking to possibly the greatest of all time. You won everything possible known to man in 9-ball.
Well, a lot of it was luck, and I told you earlier.
We talked about this. Yes.
There were times in my life when I was going to win, no matter what. Yes, that one night out there in 1994 when I played Reyes in Riviera Hotel Casino, that was a night that he was not going to ever win. And I had those moments, absolutely. And I worked hard for them, right, Scott?
Absolutely.
I trained my whole life practicing over and over and over for those 50 minutes or whatever, 1 hour of glory. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I missed a ball early that night. I missed the first ball. He had me 2-0. I leaned back in the chair. I said, he's going to beat me. And I moved up in the chair and I said, one more shot. I beat him 9 in a row in 25 minutes. It was the craziest thing ever, but it was still luck. You know what I mean? I think it was still luckier than straight pool.
Well, let me ask you this. So how first off, I'm super happy. Obviously, I'm in the wrong era. So are you. But these guys are actually making real money on the tours. There's a couple of tours out there that we know of, but they're making real money. There's real money out there, and the sponsors involved. I'm grateful for it. I'm happy to see these guys making this money. But if with all the talent out there now, all these great players, and I mean, I know a lot of them. Unfortunately and fortunately, I think when I mean unfortunately is there's so many that I don't even know. But all these great players, how do you still get guys that are dominating? Yap, I don't know how well you know Aloysius Yap, one of the nicest humans on the planet. Does not have a mean soul in his body.
Why didn't he send some money to Mika? Why didn't he?
Well, I'm talking about. Come on.
But I know Earl did. Earl did.
Listen, guys.
Sorry.
All right. I've raised more money for kids with cancer. I mean, we're not talking about that.
No.
What I'm saying is that how are these guys, SVB, when he was doing it, how did Federer do it? How did FSR do it? How did they continue to win now against all these other great players? How are they dominating like you dominated in your day?
They're lucky. Just like I was.
I totally disagree. I'm just being honest with you.
I don't know.
There is luck involved, no question.
I was lucky too. I was very lucky. A lot of times I was lucky. The way the balls rolled, everything. When I missed, didn't leave the guy a shot. Real lucky. Well, I remember all kinds of matches where I got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Just no one admits it.
Well, no, of course. Of course you have to get lucky to win a tournament.
But I still say that
Yap says it all the time. Yap says he's lucky all the time. Every interview.
Efren always says it.
I think he got it from Efren. And I think there's something to that. I've talked about this, and Bobby knows this. I mean, if you just tell yourself and this is part of this course that I'm doing, if you tell yourself that you're lucky when you wake up every day and you tell yourself this 20 times a day, just tell yourself you're lucky 20 times a day and see what your mindset is tomorrow. Guarantee you good things happen.
Lucky.
I guarantee you. No, but you got to mean it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm lucky," and think you're going to get hit by a Mack truck. You know, but I think there's something
back. There's no coming back.
Well, Earl, you had your day, bud. You had your day.
I'm fighting a losing battle. I'm trying as hard as I can.
It's respectful.
But
I'm trying to stay intact.
I respect.
I'm trying to stay completely intact at 65 years old, almost, and
it's amazing. But it's amazing, and people respect it. People respect it. People aren't making fun of you. I promise you. I'm around these players. They're not making fun of you.
Nobody's making fun of you. Absolutely. 100%.
The players respect you. Guaranteed it. You've earned it. And that's something you can go to your grave with, right? you made your mark, one of the biggest marks ever in this sport.
You know,
And
I went to a doctor one time to try to get something to make you not be nervous. And there's nothing, you know that? There's nothing in the world that can stop your nerves. Nothing
no, they've
on
got
earth.
beta blockers, but beta blockers have
That's what he
downside.
gave me. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack while I was
Yeah.
playing. I
No
went
good.
back to him. I told him, I said, what was that thing? He says, oh, the golfers use them. I says, like, well, they're dropping dead, aren't they? I never could. I went to several sports doctors, and I never could find a doctor that could find something to stop a pool player from getting nervous. And I would describe to them what I was like. I said, I would be nervous all over. I said, just terrible nervous. I said, there's got to be something you can prescribe me that I can take and it can help me. He never could find nothing. There's nothing that can do that, can take away those nerves.
This is amazing. This is amazing, Earl, that you're saying this on a podcast, right? You were, like we talked about, so many big wins. Outside looking in, you figure you weren't nervous at all. You played, especially in the finals. Like you said, you lost that one time, but you won most of the times. For you looking to try to fix,
It's a whole different time.
Nervousness. Yeah. It's amazing.
I was nervous.
That's amazing. No, people wouldn't think that. You know what I mean? The amount of tournaments that you won and things that you won, and it's very.
Sometimes you play good when you're nervous.
You embrace the nerves,
right? Yeah.
Buddy Hall was one of them. That guy never got nervous though. He had the driest hands I ever seen. His hands, but my hands don't get wet anymore like they used to. They used to get soaking wet. And some of these guys, when you shake their hands, these pool players, they're like their hands are soaking wet.
Yeah.
I'm saying, is this guy really going to touch the pool balls with his hands? God.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Buddy Hall did miss that combination against Mike LeBron at the Challenge of Champions, and I still have that. I don't know how the heck you missed that. That was nasty. It didn't look too good, but
it's always been questioned, but I don't know. You'll never know.
Yeah.
All I know is Buddy was one time he missed the ball, and he hung a ball up, and we were on a hill, and I won the tournament. And then I asked him, I said, Buddy, you missed that ball. What'd you do? Did you get nervous? He says, no. He says, no, I don't ever get nervous. I says, really? He says, I just missed it. He says, when I miss, I just miss. I don't get nervous and miss. I never heard a guy say that. He never got nervous, but he never seemed nervous to me when I played him. He was a very calm person.
Buddy was great.
Where do you rank him in the all-time? Think he was one of the top players all-time, Earl?
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I one stage of his life when I was playing him, if the match was close, like going to 11 and it was 8-8, 9-9 like that, 10-10, you'd never beat him. And Efren was the same way. If you were ever playing Efren back in the day when he was in his prime, and the score was 8-8, 9-9, 10-10, you're going to lose every time. Those guys were so good under pressure.
Yeah. What else you got? You got anything you want to say? First off, obviously, your sponsors.
Not really. Just hanging out here, playing some golf, and still working on my game, still tinkering with everything, and moving weights on this arm, weights on that arm. I didn't have any weights on the other day, and I should have had weights on me. I think when my nerves are gone, let's say are gone, it's like everybody else's that are older. When your nerves go, that's when I want to put weights on me. I think that there's movement, I think there's movement that I'm not detecting, and I want to weight everything down. But
you made sense there. You told me about that. I
gotta use the weights.
Well, that's what I want the public to understand, right? People, they think, obviously, people think you're crazy with this stuff. But when you and I were talking in the Philippines, and I'm asking you questions all the time for my intelligence or my whatever. You want to use the weights because, which I think makes sense. You want to use the weights because you think it will weigh the shake down, right? It will eliminate a little bit of the
It
shake.
it keeps you from decelling.
Okay.
That's what
Yep.
it does. The weight on my right hand.
Okay.
But now I'm putting them back on my left again because it seems
It's
like it's
shaking.
too heavy. Remember I told you it feels foreign sometimes?
Yes.
And it started doing that. So I go back and forth, Scott, and I don't know
Do you think
much
that's
now,
any
but
good? But do you think that's any good? Isn't that kind of like when you're in your prime switching cues every day? Do you think that's any good? I don't know that that's
I
consistently any
couldn't
good.
switch cues. I couldn't play
That's
with
my point. That's my point. So if you're going back and forth with these weights, do you think that's good?
Well, I got no other. There's no other choice because, like I said, now I haven't been exercising. I think when I'm running every day, I'm calmer, and then I
Hmm.
don't get as nervous. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
But now I haven't been running in like a good couple of months. I did run one day while I was at the show at Expo. I
That's
ran
not
one
like
day,
you. Why
but
is
I'm
that?
still my foot's hurt.
It's
I
the
got
foot's
Okay.
something
bothering
on
them,
my
right?
foot,
Yeah.
and I've gained a lot of weight, more than I had before when I was playing better, and my
What about
my
riding a
nerves
bike,
are
Earl?
bad. Huh?
Can you ride a bike?
Yeah, I can ride a bike. I don't like riding bikes though,
But you just seem a little different, right? I'm just being honest. You seem a little
but
bit
I'm
more
gonna be
down than you
honest with you
have
guys
from the
too.
beginning.
I don't think nothing's gonna work anymore. Really, I mean, some of these methods will subside some of my problems, but I think I've got one foot out the door, one foot in the pasture, whatever you want to call it. Efren's already in the pasture. I'm
It's
standing
okay.
at Efren's in the pasture. I'm standing at the gate.
It's okay though. That's okay, dude. It's
He's out
okay.
there grazing, telling me to come on in, but I don't want to yet.
Well, that's why we love you. That's why I respect you, man. I don't know anybody your age in your condition that plays
I'm
like you do.
I'm gonna keep trying
Well, that's what I
to.
love about you.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna keep playing until I just can't play no more. That's for sure. And if it takes every method in the world, I don't I don't
Well,
care. If
along
I
along
play
with keep
good, I'll
playing,
lose.
Earl. As long as you keep playing, Earl, make sure you keep doing the. I know we keep talking about it, but like hanging out and doing the meet and greets and doing all that stuff because that's so
Yeah.
important. You're such an icon to the sport,
Well, after I
and
lost the other day, I signed some autographs, took some pictures. There was a time when I wouldn't do that. So, I'm
sure.
starting to realize that it's over. That I have nothing to fight anymore. It's over. Just even when I
it's
lose
not
now,
over. It's just a different chapter. It's just a
I
different
can't
chapter.
be.
That's all it
I
is.
can't take it out on the fans. I just gotta keep enduring. That's all I can do.
Well, I can relate with you. I know how difficult it is mentally.
Yeah.
I do, and it's a tough mentally because you were born and bred to battle, and and that's all you've done your whole life, and
But
you've competed your whole life.
just take the moment to thanks Jay Flowers again, and like I said, they're a great sponsor for me, and they're keeping me in the game, and I want to thank them a lot. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Earl, thank you for coming on, man. You're I don't know. You're one of my favorite. I think you're an absolute genius. I know you're a genius. I know that most all of you say is correct, most, but we really appreciate you, man.
I'm
We
going to
really
start that straight pull tour. That's one thing I want to start before I die. But anyway, thanks, Scott. Thanks for all the great compliments, and thanks, Bobby. Thanks for
Of,
everything. Thanks for
of course, Earl. You know that
helping me buy
me as
my last
well.
car. Thanks for helping me buy that
that's
last car. It's a
that's
great
what
car too.
You still have it? You still have that
Yeah,
car?
yeah, it's
That's
still on.
awesome. That's good because every time I see Pete, we talk about it. I'm glad. I'm so happy. I know you had a little issue with it,
Yeah,
but
tell Pete
I'm
I said
glad.
hello.
It's one thing I
Awesome.
want to say is one thing that bothers me coming up under you guys. We always had, and correct me if I'm wrong. We always had the respect. I always had respect for you, for the arrow right above me, always. And something that bothers me, and I think I might talk about it a little bit more. Something that bothers me is it doesn't seem like that respect is given to the era of mine with the young guys out there now, and it
But these
just
guys are a
it's a little.
little, they're a little sharky too. They got more moves to them, these guys. But I think it's something that they've implemented. We had a little more honor, I thought, years ago.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's just I just hope that kind of changes a little bit, just
Even
because,
though we still disliked each other,
of course. But at the end of the day, we still had a common bond, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.